Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be speaking about Cardano and why is it still crashing below key support? Well, we're going to speak about that today. If you haven't already subscribed, drop a comment and hit the bell for all the latest news and updates in cryptocurrency. So the last couple of days have been really hard being a crypto holder, but some positive side of it is starting to kind of flip back around. Right, so already today they've already covered, the crypto market's already covered 300 billion. Which is fantastic. So we're really getting into it. And Bitcoin's actually trying to really get above 50 grand, but we'll see where it's coming in. Right, so today the topic is Cardano. Now Cardano is sitting right now at $1.38. Being the fact that Cardano has had this really nasty week and everybody's just losing money, week, months, however you want to see it, we're still kind of fighting in there. And the problem with this is we had these red flags kind of for some time. And not just these, but the entire market has honestly been throwing them up in the air. But of course, being an optimist, of course, we should look at that, right? So, looking right here, right? So, being that in this channel that we have for Cardano, if it doesn't get above like $1.80, $1.90, or even $2, it was never going to go up. We spoke about that before, and that's kind of where we are now. When we're kind of like hanging out right here, as long as we stay on this bottom half, right, we're still lowering down to $1.40, $1.50. It's not going to go anywhere that is going to be of any kind of positive influence that's really going to move. But speaking, because we had this happening here, we had that rejection here, another rejection back in November, right, and it kind of actually started, so once it hit that all-time high back here in, September? That's when we started having that downward fall, right? So that rejection from each of support here and here, those were the really big signs, especially the biggest one was here at the beginning of November. When it was getting rejected, it kind of gave off those flags that something not so great was going to happen. Of course, we were being like, okay, great, it's going back up, right? We were pretty optimistic, pretty positive, right? But, of course, it started descending into the channel after the rejection. And because we couldn't really get back over that until that like $1.90, it just wasn't really going to happen, right? So like right here, for example, it fell about $2 and it continued. We hit $1.92, and then right at $1.84, that was a key moment, honestly. That was really once we kind of came down here, we kind of broke past that medium, and so we kind of suffered from that. And of course, the 2nd of December and the 3rd. So when the 3rd it got rejected there, it just dropped off the planet. But I think it's a pretty good risk reward now to buy into Cardano, but I just don't expect it to really do too great personally. So it's going to still take some time to recover, and it can only jump after that. So that's a bit of what we have, right? So for the weekly though, even it's still ugly. It's still not getting bought into. We're still suffering from it. And we're going to look towards, honestly, the beginning of January, if the most, right? So, January, if we're looking in the weekly, right? So, January 10th, maybe, possibly, right? Unless we have something really big kickoff that it can actually start to recover and we can earn some more money back. But then again, even if it comes to like $1.90 or $2, right? We're still looking, I'm still thinking it's going to be the only time that it gets that point is about midway through January. So, that's something to be kind of keeping an eye out for too, is seeing the next trends in the next couple of days. The next week is a really key and critical point where we're going to be sitting with Cardano and the rest of the market as well. Bitcoin, Bitcoin's doing a little bit better, but they're still struggling, right? So it's sitting today at like 49K. And so it's been sitting right now at like 49,000, right? Still trying, honestly, it's trying its best. It's trying its heart out. Still not a good time to be like a Bitcoin maximus, but it is trying to get bought into, but it's still kind of falling in. And the same thing too, and when we're speaking about like Cardano and the rest of the market too, you're going to see this also, that constant rejection. Like right here again too, rejected. It's constantly, and that was a big sign that it was happening. And there's a lot of leverage kind of coming in for here. And everybody thinks that just in a moment that they're going to be able to jump into the market, right? And it's just going to constantly run. There's never going to be no downfall. But guess what? Unfortunately, that's not realistic, right? So as much as we want it to be, if that was the case, we'd all be rich, and we probably would never even have to watch our channels, right? So that is what we have. So the market is looking pretty bad for Bitcoin on the daily. The weekly is the same. It's still not great. Of course, it's still trying to come back. That's what we have. XRP. I wanted to speak about XRP as well today. XRP is one of those coins that is still struggling over the past weeks here. But looking at it, of course, it got rejected too from the same for like 23rd of November, trying to come back up. Of course, the 8th of November. So it's just a couple of weeks here that just were really key for XRP. They could really start to move forward. After that nice run at the beginning of November, right? And that's kind of hurting it as well. September was the last good run too. But it's going to take some moment, and so the market is trying to recover for all coins across the board, right? And we're going to get into it and look deeper into the market just a moment. So it is looking a little bit better. All right. So Bitcoin is now sitting at 3.70% up for the day and down for the weekly, about 9.5%. Ethereum is also starting to bounce back up too from this loss. It's 7% for the 24-hour period and a plus for the for the weekly. Much better. Solana 282 in the plus for the hourly. The daily, and the weekly is looking at 439. Right. Terra Luna is killing it. It's 66.27. For the weekly, and if I'm not mistaken, I was explaining to you guys a few days ago that actually Terra Luna is going to jump pretty soon, and this is what it's looking like. So it's another one of those coins that we're kind of benefiting from this that we're watching for. 36 for the day, 66 for the week. Awesome. Matic's not doing so hot, so it is also minus 16% as well. Doge is up for 4.5 for the daily. AVAX is something that I'm waiting to see some big action from. I think in the next couple of days as well, AVAX is really going to point out, especially by the beginning of the year. I really expect that to come out, as well as so the weekly is sitting at 16.82, and Matic is awesome, right? So Polygon is at 34.86 for the weekly. And for the 24-hour period is 10.93. And I also was explaining too, 2 days ago as well, a day, that Polygon is one of those coins too that's going to jump. Of course, Litecoin too is only up by 2.5 as well. And so we're going to get into some of these coins a little bit later. And also Axie so Axis is also up by 7.5 for the 24-hour period. So some of these coins are actually jumping from all of this. So it's something to watch into. All right, so after that dump, crypto markets are recovering 300 billion, and Bitcoin is trying to get 50K, right? Is it possible? Yeah, I think so. We're sitting at 49K, but only time can tell, right? So that's actually known to be so volatile. Yesterday, there was a prime example of that, of course, and this is what this article is saying by Jordan Linescliff. It plummeted 42K, right? And that was on Bitstamp, prompting many industry experts and analysts to speculate the possible reasons behind the $16,000 drop. Now, it did positively touch the 42,000 bottom, and it bounced off to around 47, and then, of course, it drove it up just a little bit of 50K, right? So, this is the market here from this, right? That's okay. But altcoins in green after the bloodbath. Now, this is why this is important, because we were exactly speaking about this like last week. We have been speaking on this forever. Altcoins are going to come up after all this is up. So, but the altcoins suffered more than Bitcoins yesterday. Now, Ethereum went from 4 and 7 to around 35. The second largest trades were around 42, and after a 7 daily increase, right? So it jumped back up, right? So it did get hit, but it is going to come up from it. As you see, Bitcoin's still struggling, right? Now, Binance Coin also fell hard. But similar increase drove to 5,700, 3%, Cardano 2%, Polkadot 2%, Shiba 5 as well. So the recovery came from Ripple by 12, Doge an 8, and Terra 30. Right, so Luna even painted a new all-time high earlier, just under $80. Right, so a lot of these are actually doing pretty good. Now AVAX is kind of hurting still, so a lot of these are going to come up as well. So keep an eye on these coins. You're going to see it more. You're going to see it recover more and more, especially in the next couple of days. as it's coming back up, especially the altcoins. I know like they fell too, but they're going back up and a lot faster than what Bitcoin is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Subscribe, drop a comment, and I will see you guys next time.